So I think that is pretty much the extent of our slides. This is just a quick one to show, you're not alone. This is, really something that's evolved over the last several years. We started, with a 911 call to a very significant agency that had a need with a particular client. And, as we began exploring this space, found out that the commonalities to the problems and challenges are very, very comparable with a lot of the agencies that we worked with and obviously the brands that are the benefactors of that. So you're not alone. And really what we've tried to do is leave ample time for questions, and that's, we pared this down from about 87 slides to the 20 you see here, but really wanted this to be a chance for you guys to, to offer up any questions or comments, maybe share some real-world experience from, some of the work that you've done. Yes, sir?
Yes.
Do you think that this industry has so many unique nuances that you have to buy a product like this or a traditional CRM system with some minor tweaking will work?
The question is this industry unique in such a way that it requires its own custom or product to fulfill its mission, or can you take an existing CRM system and make some minor tweaks to it? I'll take a shot at that. I'll say from our experience, the agencies with whom we've worked, you can't go to the level. I haven't been able to see how you could go to the level that we do in our portal systems using a CRM system, or at least you can't do it economically. I won't say you maybe couldn't do it, but the breadth and depth of the functionality that we try to build makes it very difficult to do that in a CRM situation or application.
And I'd say, also in when we design something custom, you're looking at, sure, there's probably a lot of commonalities, from agency to agency in, the way you're going to put a calendar together or scheduling and things like that. Whereas maybe the questions on a recap or how they handle timesheeting or things like that may be different. And custom application really gives you the best of both worlds. We're starting with a foundation of best practices and things that we've found, through several, projects and engagements that have worked well. Always with the caveat that we can change it. It's very modular, and we find a lot of systems that once that's in place, clients will be coming back to the table with different add-ons to that.
Yes.
We talked about investment in general. In terms of time investment, how long does it take to create a solution?
The question is, how long does it take? And that question and the subsequent question is, how much does it take, often come up. Good questions. And the reality is it depends on what you're talking about doing. If you're talking about taking, and we've seen this where an agency, as I said, is maybe just using some spreadsheets and they're very, very manual in their world, and starting to automate a few of those forms, that can happen very quickly. 2 or 3 weeks, you're up and running with some new forms. If you're talking about taking and portalizing a program and or the entire enterprise-wide system, you're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 months probably, and maybe even a little longer. And again, on our experience, the development partner can move much faster than the agency and brand can move because of the amount of things that you have going on. And this is not something, and I would encourage you, if you're working and you're finding a partner, make sure they're not doing something in a vacuum, going behind the curtain, coming back and saying, ta-da, here you go. You've got to have that interaction between yourself and your development partner, or you'll end up with a big mess.
And there's a lot to be said for a phased approach, where you're really delineating between what are gotta-haves, what are nice-to-haves. You're looking at, when a particular program is going to kick off and what can be done before that. So, there's certainly a lot of, vacillation and give and take in terms of, what are priorities, what needs to get done first.
And then part 2 to that then would be the how much.
How much?
The range of
Well,
come on.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. You're looking at several $1,000s for something very basic to do some form automation, to generally speaking in that probably $20,000 range. You start to be able to take programs and do some things with it. And if you want a full enterprise system end to end that has all the bells and whistles, you're probably in that $150,000 to $250,000 range. And I don't know if that sounds like a lot or not, but when you think about the value that gives you year after year after year with all of your programs, it's nothing. And the payback on that is very, very quickly, very fast. Yes, sir?
Apologies if you already covered this, but I came in late. When you're using the word portal, to me that's clients, stakeholders, pretty much anybody working on the project can go to interpret data that's been uploaded from, for example, a road team, and it's displayed in a variety of different customizable ways depending upon how you need to interpret and see the data. What about the actual capture and collection of that data, like the field teams or the event teams working on the ground, say on a 80-city nationwide tour? Does Spindustry provide those data capture solutions, and if so, what are they? And if you don't, how do you integrate another company's data collection system with your portal?
The question? Did everybody hear the question, or do I need to repeat that? The reality is we build internet accessible applications that you can get on your phone, you can get via the web on a tablet PC or on the iPhone or at a hotel or your home. With regard to if I'm in the field and I'm capturing survey data or activation data or sponsorship information, those sorts of things, we do not do that. There are partners that we can point you towards that can help you with that. And then it's our job to work with them to make sure that data, if we're going to bring it into the system, we do that in a way that works. The beauty of our systems is, and again, I don't want to make this salesy. You pick the partner that's right for you. We are a team of dedicated professionals. We're 50 people. We work in the insurance, financial services, manufacturing industry. We have a great deal of experience in integrating data from lots of different sources in different ways. But we are candidly gathering that information in, say, a touch screen or some sort of a device in the field. That's just not, we've never gone to that point. I'm not saying we couldn't maybe someday do that, but there are other partners that do that.
So it's more a matter of collecting facts, data, statistics, and then displaying it in a customized way versus what I was asking about, which is like demographic data collection from consumers.
Correct. That's correct. Your original definition of what a portal is exactly what we do. It's that internet-based ability to gather, collect, manage information, and then report that back in a way that's relevant and meaningful to the audience. And that could be internal or that can be to the client. And we're really wanting to connect that data longer term where it makes sense to a lead management service where you can track what happens to all these people you're meeting out in the field. Are you making something? Are you giving them a coupon? Are you giving them a sample? What's happening to connect those dots? How do you measure that? And that's the exciting. That's the leading edge of where we're going. Any other questions? Got plenty of time. Sure.
Yeah, when you were talking about the different training applications, do you guys offer as well like online certification of field reps or field staff?
The question is online certification of field reps from a training standpoint, and no, we don't do online certification, if you will. We certainly provide the vehicle for people to take some training. We've done that on a number of occasions, and so if you said, for example, that you want your people to go through and take this information, review it, and then take a quiz or a test, and they have to score an 80% in order to pass it and then therefore be certified, yes, we have done that. But I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about or if you're talking about something much more sophisticated with regard to certification. Yeah.
And to interject, I mean, not down the certification path, but we've certainly done portals where, you've got a large number of sales reps that are working in, a Walmart doing hair care products or whatnot, where you're hiring temp staff. And there's a lot of product knowledge and online training that takes place with product information, competitive information, giving them the opportunity to ask an expert a question that can be answered one-on-one. If it's deemed applicable, it could go into an FAQ where other people are. So really kind of creating that knowledge center where there is a lot of training material that can be augmented because quite frankly in a lot of cases it's just not practical to think you're going to reach out and touch every single person that's out in the field doing that.